Hi, everybody. It looks like this week, whether they meant to or not, Veve reminded us that for well-known IP, they still run this town.
Tell me now. Only thing that's on my mind is who's gonna run this town tonight.
So another spectacular week from Veve. They, as we know, the market's kind of been stagnant, but they have continued to do drops. And this week, they really came back, and either intentional or maybe it just ended up being this way. They really showed us that they still have a good feel for what people want, and are able to drop some spectacular drops. So let's talk about the two that dropped, and then let's talk about what will you think about this means going forward. So on May 4th, which is May the 4th be with you, Star Wars Day, we knew something spectacular might come out, and they dropped Star Wars #1, the comic. Now, we've talked about a lot of different things, and people believe, as do I, that there are going to be more Star Wars drops in the month of May, but this was a good way to get it going. And it already has kind of exploded and done a couple interesting things. So #1, it sold out. That's to be expected. But Veve really flexed its muscles in terms of, maybe in a bad way, but they raised the price from normally $7 to $15. So over double, were able to sell it out. They had more mints than usual, still sold it out, and the price really, really, really has moved up. And it just shows us when Veve drops something significant, they have the users, they have the fans. And so then I thought that was great. So right now, as I said, the common came out at 15. It's at 50 now. And there's 19,000 of those, which shows great strength. And the secret rare, which obviously if you got it on drop, you're lucky enough to get it for $15, is now pushing over $2,000. And once again, this is not a secret rare with only 600 mints. This is a secret rare with 1,977 mints. So people are really willing to spend for that, and it shows the confidence, once again, in that particular IP and in Veve in general. So that was fun to see. And then yesterday, they dropped Strange Tales 110, the first appearance of Doctor Strange, who, the movie just came out. So there's a lot of Doctor Strange in the marketplace right now in terms of in the media and whatnot. But yeah, similar deal. So this one was a standard one. It was 30,000 mints total, but it came out with great strength. And as of right now, the common is around $22. Only 24 hours later has tripled. And the secret rare, if you're lucky enough to get that for $7, is now at $1,800, approaching $2,000, which once again shows the strength of Veve and Veve's community when they really are interested in something. And there's been a lot of other projects, as we know. The HRO project has been extremely successful. The Bat Cowl project has been extremely successful. I haven't been able to get involved in those. I'm interested, but unfortunately, I'm just so busy I haven't been able to properly research them. But I'm not a zero-sum person in the kind of NFT space. I think there's room for all these projects, and each of them will have their pros and cons. But all of them bring new fans in, and I think do different types of things for fans. And so I think they're good. I don't think there's anything wrong with those. But I also think, and if you saw some of the interviews with various people, Veve is the strongest community right now. And so I think they know that, and they are actively trying to kind of leverage that community to try and help them out, especially if it has to do with any type of superheroes and other things. So I feel like right now Veve has established itself as the premier, in a lot of ways in the premier NFT space, but especially in terms of superheroes, Marvel, DC, that's where you go first to try and get people to participate in your project. Maybe that will change over time. Maybe some of these other ones will grow. But right now, I feel like Veve is the #1 community for that. And other people need to kind of start in our community and obviously expand, right? But trying to come to Veve first and try and poach some of these people to get them interested, I think is definitely what they are doing, have done, and that's good for the, that's just what we're going to see going forward. I think another thing that's interesting about some of these other projects like Recur and other ones as they're trying to establish their foothold, people are interested in them and they get involved early, but then some of the prices like the Recur Pass and other ones have slid under retail. I don't necessarily think that they're going to stay that way forever. And I think as they build their projects, obviously those things will come back. But Veve once again shows its strength. It's able to hold value and then double, triple, etc., even 24 hours after something has been dropped. And then even later, months and months and months later, has been able to hold value. And that's what we necessarily haven't seen in some of the other NFT projects. The other thing that I thought was interesting that we're beginning to see this week and really over the weeks, especially on HRO, they have a leader system where if you accumulate cards and other things, you can, and then they give awards for the top leaders. And I think it's fascinating to watch. It's obviously something that other projects and other, games and other things do. People like competition. And I think it bodes well for our MCP program here in Veve. They do have a Medium article. I will link it below. And there will be an element of competition there, different levels and whatnot. And I think that in watching what has happened to HRO, that probably means that similar types of activity will happen and similar types of interest will happen here in Veve once they get that program rolling. So I think that's really good. For those of us who I'm a little bit interested in, I do have some sets like Kripkins and other ones that I've accumulated to help me with my MCP points, but it's not like I'm a really big person that's collecting a lot of things specifically for MCP. And I did have done a couple videos talking about that. Maybe I should take it more seriously. But as of right now, I think we'll play part of what Veve will become. The other thing to note, which surprised me, and I was thinking about MCP, was once again, if you go look at the Bravos Assassin, I'll link his Twitter. He shows which wallets and how many wallets have different things. So for myself, combined comics and collectibles, obviously I have about 500 plus comics, so I'm comic heavy. I have about 700 comics and collectibles combined. And if you look at his charts, I would be in the top 1%. So perhaps I would already be very, very high in those MCP points or other things. Obviously, I don't have many sets. I think I have 26 sets. But really, if you accumulate the points, that's what you're after, and the sets are a part of that. That's what I have for you this week. Thanks for watching. I appreciate the support. I'll talk to y'all soon.